Today, I'll be comparing Proposition 227 and Proposition 58 to show how California's approach to multilingual education has shifted from restriction to inclusion. Proposition 227, titled English Language Education for Immigrant Children, was designed to eliminate bilingual education in public schools. It imposed English-only instruction, requiring non-English speaking students to be placed in one-year English immersion programs before joining mainstream classrooms. Ron Unz, the policy's author, argued that a bilingual education was a barrier to assimilation, and an English-only classroom would mean success for immigrant children. In reality, the proposition carried a veiled goal to preserve a white, Eurocentric dominance in U.S. classrooms and beyond. Proposition 58, titled California Education for a Global Economy, overturned Prop 227 and reinstated bilingual education in schools. Schools could now offer multilingual programs and were required to solicit parents to ascertain the best plans. This marked a major ideological shift. Multilingualism was now seen as an asset rather than a problem. Prop 58 underscored the values of transnationalism, which urges us to focus on what brings us together between countries instead of emphasizing our differences. The key takeaway here is that Prop 227 prioritized rapid assimilation into English, while Prop 58 embraced linguistic diversity and the socioeconomic benefits of bilingualism. Looking at Daniel Gonzalez's article, measures like the ones in Prop 227, quote, represent a throwback to the days when Native Americans were forced to abandon their centuries-old languages and cultures, a policy that they said led to many of the social ills plaguing reservations today, end quote. Prop 227 supported ideals of nationalism, racism, and fear of other cultures. Native Americans and other marginalized groups were the ones who would suffer from this legislation by losing ties to their identity and language. According to Ophelia Garcia, translanguaging is describing the language practices of bilinguals from the perspective of the users, rather than describing bilingual language use from the perspective of the language itself. Prop 58 supports this concept by allowing flexible language use in education. It helps students use multiple linguistic resources rather than being restricted to English, and acknowledges the reality of diverse communities in the U.S. rather than imposing a one-size-fits-all language policy. These two propositions show how language policy is never just about language. It reflects deeper social, political, and cultural attitudes toward identity and community.